Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud.
And Famous Dave.
And we're here to cover the last 4 episodes before the final. The final's just around the corner. So we'll be covering, because we've been fucking late. And by we, I mean me. Like, you have no obligation to this show,
I agree. It's all your fault. How dare you? Abandon the franchise.
And, I've been late this entire fucking season. And you could, usually it's like out of protest. But the show's actually been really good. Until recently, these past 4 episodes when we went from teams to singles. Yeah. And then we've been getting cliffhangers reintroduced. It's like the show went back to its roots, the classic shit where you get full episodes and stuff, mission, elimination. And now it's going back to cliffhangers. And now, we also have a purge again, which is, always so not needed around here,
Yeah, the show kind of just reverted back to the stuff that we've all been complaining about ever since, Bloodlines, basically.
Yeah.
With the purge, but, mainly just the setup of the episodes and, the direction they go, where they just, to be continued. Someone's about to pick out, the person they're going to go against in elimination. And then we just end the episode there. So then the following episode starts with an elimination, then has a mission, and then it's over. Those episodes, you never feel satisfied watching those episodes.
Yeah.
You're always just kind of like, oh, all right. And it loses a lot of momentum and a lot of fun from the episodes when they do that.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Even with these great competitors that we've come to love, it still affects your enjoyment of the show.
Yeah.
With these cliffhangers and shit. So I'll say this. I want to compare these last 4 episodes to this is the season 8 of Game of Thrones, or you know what I mean, where it's what the fuck is this, characters aren't acting like they should, and what's up with, I can't see anything, what's going on here,
the writers and producers, they're introducing characters and then they're not giving a proper payoff for them.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
We see them dwindling in the background.
Yeah, when Jon Snow is gonna say when he tells him, I'm actually not no, he doesn't even say those words. Brandon's like, you tell them, John.
Brandon's like, it's up to you. And John's like, tell him.
And then
cut.
We don't see it. That's exactly what's going on here. They're like, okay, Georgia, who are you going to go against? Well, and then Brian is like, tell them, you call it, Georgia, whatever the fuck.
Wait, is TJ Brand?
He is totally Brand.
I think he is.
Dull as shit. I wish he was crippled. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my god. He was after one of those bicycle accidents.
Oh my god, he was. That's right. There was a time where TJ might have been injured where he wasn't going to be the host,
Didn't he take a year off?
No, he never took a year off. No. Even when his family was like, please, TJ, we love you. And he's like, fuck off.
I remember he showed up what season was that? And you could tell he was fresh off the brain injury. And it was
Rivals 1, I think.
Was it Rivals 1? Yeah. Because, he did not say much of anything that entire season.
Yeah?
Yeah, it didn't seem like it.
Oh, well,
because
good times.
Normally they would have, TJ explains the rules of the challenge. But on that season, what they did was they just cut to, one of the, Kenny or Wes would be like, okay, this is what we have to do. And they would cut to a confessional of one of the people explaining what the mission was. Because TJ probably couldn't verbalize it all. Memories.
Anyways, we're going on tangents already. We're going to be discussing the last 4, the latest 4 episodes.
Yeah, so we're going to just talk about the cast members and what they did in these recent episodes.
Yeah, so we're going to be covering episode 11, A Simple Plan, episode 12, Lost in Translation, episode 13, Final Destination, and then episode 14, The Waterboy.
I love that movie.
But why was it called The Waterboy?
I have no idea.
Was it Polly? Was Polly the Waterboy?
I think so.
That still doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. There's no correlation to it at all.
Maybe if Polly, when he was what was he suffering from when you're
hypothermia?
Hypothermia, yeah. And he's like, that's That's high quality H2O. Maybe then, you know what I mean? Maybe. And he's like, I need some water, and Carmaria's like, no, you need Gatorade.
Gatorade. H2O.
So since we have so many episodes to cover, I figured this structure would work better, where we just have all the fighters, all the characters, and we're gonna randomly draw them, and then we're just gonna discuss what they've been through these past 4 episodes. Okay?
Yep.
So let's start it off randomly. Let's see here. Who's up first? Who do we begin with?
Johnny Bananas. This
He's
is rigged.
back. He's back. We have Theo.
Yeah. Okay.
Theo. The Michael Bisping of the challenge?
No.
What are you gonna say? The Leon Edwards just because he's black?
No, he's nobody because he's British, but I don't know. I don't know. He's a really good competitor and an athlete, but
Right.
I don't know. He doesn't have like a whole lot of personality. Like
Really?
he always does good at everything. Like he's good at everything, but I feel like with everybody else, they have a personality to them. If you talk about Bear or Turbo or Wes or Hunter, like there's things you can break
Lots of
down
stuff,
with
yeah.
how they interact with the other people in the house. And with Theo, I'm just like, I don't know. There's nothing really there. Like he's pretty
extremely
good.
tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about
He's
it.
very athletic and he's good. I'm like, he's a nice guy. I don't dislike him, but there's not a whole lot of personality.
The
there.
only thing I have written down is that he defeats Kyle in Hall Brawl.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is good for him. I mean, Kyle's technically a vet at this point, a pretty solid competitor, but a little banged up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Theo, I do remember Theo lost that first round. And I was like, oh shit, Kyle. Like, yes, come back, piss off Carmarie and Polly. But this isn't about Kyle. This is about Theo. And he comes back for those next 2 rounds. And I think it comes down to speed. Because Theo is very tall. Isn't he like an Olympian or something?
Yeah, they've mentioned that he's an Olympian. I don't know what he's done. I don't know.
Is he the Usain Bolt of the challenge?
Maybe. I like. Is he a runner? Is he hurdles?
I don't know. Yeah.
Is he a gymnast?
I thought gymnasts were short because of that.
Yeah, it's true. He wouldn't be a gymnast. I don't know.
No.
Is he a bobsledder?
Maybe he is a gymnast, but he's like the horse. You know what I'm saying? Like where girls just kind of twirl over him.
Cara Maria?
Yeah. Oh my God!
They were
Yeah,
partners?
there we go.
Yeah.
That
So
makes
I
sense.
think one thing we could talk about with Theo is the fact that ever since they split up, like it was Cara and Theo.
Yeah.
Theo and Cara were a great partnership together. They're both really good competitors. Now that they're split up, Theo's absolutely seems like he's fine on his own. Like he's held his own in the missions, and with elimination, he beats Kyle.
Yeah.
Like
I think
he's been fine.
Yeah,
Like
I think he voted in Wes, but not even into the kill floor, just for a nomination. That's about as much of a personality as I had. He's given us. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, that's about it. So moving on, right? Nothing
Yeah.
else. I mean, good for him though. He defeated Kyle. He finally got his he wetted his beak, dipped his toes in the water, and defeated a veteran. Next, we have Turbo. Lots more shit to talk about. I have written down in terms of the missions. He won in episode 12, the Day of Reckoning.
Was that the garbage thing?
Yeah, it was total trash. I hate it.
Oh man, your trash was my treasure because I loved it.
How much did that treasure weigh? Enough to fucking win. That's something in of itself, because he was paired with Ninja,
Yeah.
and this was the turning point for me, for Ninja, anyways, where that's where they were paired together, and she was complaining how slow he was, but it's because he was carrying so much heavy shit.
Yeah. And the goal is to get the most heavy shit in there. But then the argument to that is like, well, if you make more trips with lighter stuff, maybe that will equal more. So this started to turn for me, not just with Ninja, but with the season as a whole.
Yeah.
Because they split apart all the partners, and everyone's solo again. Then we have a mission, and TJ's like, all right, everyone's going to group up, and you're going to be in pairs. And I'm like, what the fuck? We just split everyone into individuals, so let them do it as individuals.
That's true. That's
But now we're just going to start pairing people up. And I'm like, no, this is dumb.
Yeah.
I'm like, you just split everyone up like 2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
Like, why are we going back to partners? So then now they're back into partners just for this mission, and I just found that odd that they would do that.
Very bizarre. It was man's choice or guy's choice. They got to choose their female partner, and Turbo chose Ninja, and why not? Because she was doing really well
With Polly,
Polly.
yeah.
But god damn it, it sucked because they eventually end up winning, much to their surprise. Like, well, I mean, Turbo wasn't surprised really. He was just like, "Listen to me, I know what I do." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Ninja was just fucking like, "You're fucking slow," and just screaming.
She's like,
and,
I told you,
Yeah.
don't bring that.
Yeah.
And she starts like throwing 2x4s and shit around.
They were
doing all
pallets.
that. Yeah.
They were pallets. Then she had a giant like wooden pole, and she was
Yeah.
smashing it. But I was like, wait a minute. I thought maybe this is like a ulterior motive because she was trying to crack it in half, but that would have fell into the bin where you have to weigh stuff. Like, ninja. Maybe she was like threw a pallet in the air and it just happened to fall in her thing, adding a little bit more weight. I was like,
I'm assuming it was after the weigh-in, but there's no way to tell.
But she was so
she had a
convinced
total
that they lost.
meltdown and was freaking out at Turbo and yelling at him. And Turbo's sitting in the sand, and he's just like, he's like, "What? Leave me alone." D joins in with Natalie, and D and Natalie start screaming at Turbo. Yeah. And D did the classic chick thing where she's clapping her like, "Stop being aggressive! Stop being aggressive!"
I hate it.
And it's just like he's sitting in the sand, and you're towering over him, slapping your hands in his face, telling him he's aggressive. And I'm like, no, he's not being aggressive. You're being aggressive, and you're making a fool of yourself.
Yeah, D, you're making it clap, and not in the cool way with the ass and shit. By the way, let me just say this real quick. I didn't realize this, but D is super fucking hot. You know what I mean? Like, I liked her because she was with Wes and stuff like that, and she got the rub, so to speak. But like after a while, I was like, she's very like curvy. I know this is like misogynistic as shit or whatever, but I don't know. I just have to air that out, I guess. Yeah. But anyways, they're screaming at Turbo. It's like, oh, relax. Oh, what does he say? Why you yell on me? Not yell at me, but on me. Oh, like,
yeah,
that's cool. I like that. I just, for the record, I love the Russian accent, like the broken English. I've always had a soft spot for it. Or whatever.
It's really cool.
Yeah, Turbo's awesome about that. So eventually, it's announced that they did win, and then he starts crying, and he's just like, "No, I don't even want to speak or whatever," and shit like that. And Ninja, she feels like an ass, which she should.
Yeah.
I don't even like Ninja after that moment. Like, no, it doesn't matter what she does now. I'm just like, God damn, Ugh. Yeah.
Yeah, it made Ninja look bad. It made D look bad, and there was ever since that point, there's just really hasn't been any coming back from it. Like they apologized to Turbo and stuff like that, but it's like you can't just like fuck up and be a total bitch to somebody and then be like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and then it's all forgotten. Mm-hmm. Like, yes, in life you will forgive someone and you will move on. But we're looking at a reality TV show that is filmed over the course of a month or something. So if this happens, it's going to take more than 2 weeks afterwards to like get over it. Like the shit that you do has consequences in the house, and people are going to remember that for the next 2 weeks. You're not just going to be able to apologize and move on and everyone forget it. And that's what Natalie and Dee don't realize as rookie competitors. Like
Natalie D. Full name too.
Yeah. So they had that outburst, and I think it kind of tainted who they were in a lot of people's eyes.
Yeah. Even afterwards at the bar, Ninja is like crying, like, "What? Just look me in the eye." And Turbo's like, "No." He's just playing with his necklace on the table.
Yeah, he's just staring down, and it seemed very obvious to me that like they get everyone to go out to the bar. It's not up to like they have to go. They're obligated to go. Like Turbo didn't want to be there, and he's just like sitting there staring at the table. I don't think so. I don't know. I have no idea. But he's just sitting there. He doesn't want to be there. You can tell. Yeah. Everyone's just looking at him. Cameras on him. And he's apologizing. He's like, I'm still fucking pissed off. This just happened. It just happened like 5 hours earlier. You know,
Mhm.
Kyle still got paint on his fucking face.
Yeah, that's
Like,
right,
you know,
yeah.
it just happened that night.
And Turbo, I remember when she was screaming at him, he's like, I killed myself. And he does. Remember when in the wind turbine or whatever, where he
Yeah.
basically almost killed himself again? He puts his life on the line for sure through this thing. He lives for this shit. And he really was like, I killed myself. Why you yell at me and shit like that? So he won't forgive her. And then eventually again, Dee comes in and she's like, why won't you? No, she's not clapping again. But she starts getting mad at him again. And it's funny because eventually, when it comes to voting in people, he doesn't vote in Ninja. He votes in D. In fact, he's a lot more passionate about putting her in above Ninja. That's
Yeah.
interesting to me.
And I don't know. I might have to rewatch it to exactly analyze why, but it seemed like to me like Ninja was his partner, and she was upset at him as a partner. D was a complete outsider, had nothing to do with it, and D started to pile on him, and he's like, okay, it's like we weren't even partnered. You have nothing to do with this.
Mhm.
Like, so I'm. That's why he voted for her.
Yeah,
I don't know. It seems like it to me.
It was really truly bizarre because for me, I would have rather thrown in Ninja than D. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, as maybe it goes back to like the curvaceousness of D, where I'm like, I can't send that shit away.
I can't stay mad at you.
Yeah. That's
But-
why I stuck. That's why I stayed
Yeah.
in a terrible relationship for 10 years. All right.
So what else has happened to Turbo? Like what missions has he won?
He also won Crash Landing.
With an airplane.
Thus putting him as an automatic final.
Yeah, him and Kara got first guy and first girl, so
Yep.
they are both automatically to the final.
Mhm.
Yeah. Can we talk about that mission?
That's awesome that he's good at puzzles. I figured he was a physical specimen, but puzzles, that's just another big part of being a challenger, you know?
It is. And usually, if you look at like the guys who are super like buff and tough, they're not good at puzzles. Like Hunter, good physical specimen, very strong.
Yeah.
Can't fucking do a puzzle to save his life.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But Turbo, anytime I've seen him with a puzzle, he does great. So it's like,
So automatically into the final, and then if you want to talk about the mission, it was kind of cool. It was like the airplane hanging,
like the
above
fuselage of the airplane, and they're rocking it back and forth. They got cool sound effects and shit.
That weird alarm that was going off.
Yeah.
That was kind of like that would throw me off. I'm like, oh, make it stop, make it stop.
Pull up.
Yeah, pull up.
Like, shit, we're going down. And like, I don't know. I thought it was cool, but at the same time, I thought a lot of the challengers during that, they're like overselling it, saying like, oh, this is like the scariest thing ever. Like Wes had some really shitty bad jokes. Like the worst jokes he said all year was right before that mission.
What did he say? More nuts, stewardess, or what?
I don't remember what it was, but it was like really lame. And everything they said was really lame. Like Kara was like freaking out, and I'm like, there's no reason to freak out. You're like 20 feet above water, if that, maybe 15 feet. Like it's never as tall as they say.
It was moving.
It's rocking back and forth. Y'all have a seatbelt on, and when they're doing the puzzle, like you can tell, they were not rocking it that much while they were doing the puzzle. Like it would pause because there were magnetic pieces.
I like that part. That was kind of cool.
But some of the people's pieces would fall off. Yeah. But I think they would pause the fucking plane so the person could go and get those pieces back on there. Because those people should have been like eliminated. Like if the plane's rocking, your pieces fell off, you're seatbelted in, you're not going to go and get them. Because if they rock it while they take their seatbelt off, they'll be bouncing around in there and they'll break their neck or something.
Yeah, that's true. And
it
also,
totally add up.
I had a bit of an issue with the rules, or at least I was a bit confused by it, because it was like, you have to complete the puzzle, and then I thought they said the first person to get out of the plane will get that automatic spot. And I'm thinking, like, there's only 2 exits. One way in the front and one way in the back. What if you're one of those poor assholes who are right in the middle compared to someone who's closer to the door?
I didn't think
you know
of
what I
that.
mean? Yeah. I had a huge issue with that. Like, what the fuck?
That's true. Yeah, because TJ like gives them their tickets or whatever because he's dressed like a jackass. I mean, a flight attendant, and he like hands them their tickets. He's like, "This is where you're seating." And I remember thinking like, "Oh yeah, they're giving them assigned seats. That's weird."
Oh, they were given I don't know, whatever. Yeah, it was definitely one of those things
But
where
it was cool. It was,
you act,
yeah.
you play it
It,
up a little.
it was a cool enough mission, compared to them like being on the back of the dune buggy doing figure eights, and they're doing a puzzle on that. Like this was a way better version of that.
That's true. Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, there were some cool parts about it. Anyways, Turbo's automatically in the final, which is cool. I wanted him to be in the final because I want him and West to go at it. Yeah. So that's cool.
I said in the the prelim show or the preview show for the season, I thought Turbo and Nani were an awesome team, and I thought they would make it to the final. Now they split up the teams, but like I still have that thought about Turbo. Like he's awesome. Yeah. He's a really good competitor. When it comes to the guys, like the top guys for me are Wes, Turbo, and Paulie.
Yeah.
And we'll get to Paulie in a little bit.
Yeah.
But and Theo as well. Theo as well. He can't be discounted.
It's true. Okay, so next we have Nani. Yeah.
Nani. Poor Nani. She was really great this season.
All I have written down is she was defeated by Georgia. She picks West to help her. And then Georgia picks Turbo.
Wasn't it the same episode as the trash? When they had to do that?
Might have been. I don't remember.
And even if it wasn't, I was annoyed by the fact that, okay, now they're solos. They're going into elimination. And then they have to pick a partner to help them out.
That was lame.
And I'm like, okay, so it seems like all of these things were designed for partners. So now we're just having you pick a partner. I'm like, why are they solos? I'm like, just keep it as partners then. Mm-hmm. That or if you're going to separate them and do it solo, then make the elimination a solo elimination. So Georgia picks Turbo, and Nani picks West
over Hunter. And Hunter's a little bit hurt about it.
Yeah,
right?
But I mean, Nani picked the right move in picking West because West is, everyone considers him the smartest guy in the challenge.
One of the best in eliminations.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is the thing, though. It was funny because as soon as it's announced, West climbs down and he's like, me and Nani, we've won a couple of eliminations together, right? And right then, this is where Nani reminded me how fucking lame she is. She's like, don't talk about it. Just help me, I hated that moment. Oh my God, did I hate that.
I was annoyed by it. That's for sure. I didn't have the hate that you did, but I was definitely like a sigh of like groan. Like,
yeah. Well, before we get into that, real quick though, I think there's some house business. There is a small moment where Nani and Kara get into it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she's like, because Kara, she's so immature. She really is. Like, and Nani calls her out on it. She also says like, Kara, you've changed. Now you are the bully, which, implies that she was the victim before. And she was. She really was. She was always like crying and because people were picking on her and stuff, pouring soda all over her wet white t-shirt and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Not even placing, which was the worst part.
Yeah,
we got a surfboard in the shot.
And that's Kara's story. Is like over her younger years on the show, she was always bullied a lot, and that changed her as a person. Like she's grown stronger and become like a more a colder, harder person.
That's true.
It's she's put up a wall and she's not going to be bullied anymore. She's stronger now and she's starting to become the bully. And to her, she's defending herself. She's standing her ground. But to a lot of people, they see her as being a bully.
Well, yeah. I mean, just think about it. Didn't George St. Pierre say, like, the reason why I am the way I am is because I was bullied. And I wanted to, turn that into something positive instead. But not Cara Maria. She's like, no, fuck everybody. But no, Kara's reasonings are terrible. She's like, I think you might get voted in because you hang it with Kyle.
Yeah.
And Nani says, I am a grown woman, unlike you. Well, she didn't say unlike you, but she should have. She should have said, Kara, you are a fucking child. You are a fucking child. You like red, so you decide to dye your hair red. You know what I mean? Like you were a child who poured Kool-Aid on her head, just like, look at me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like they're in a house with 12 people in this house.
Yeah.
Nani hangs out in a room that has Kyle in it. I don't remember everybody else. It's like Kyle and Hunter, and I think like Wes is in there. And like that's every challenge house. There's always comes down to like having 2 rooms or 3 rooms or 4 rooms, and people who are hang out and are friends. But that is Nani has never voted with Kyle on certain things. They've never politically aligned themselves together. They've played completely separate games. And Karo is like, well, Nani, I might vote you in because you hang out with Kyle.
Again, it's just so obvious. So fucking obvious that she still has the hots for Kyle, but doesn't know how to express it because she's not a big girl. She doesn't know how to use her big girl words. You know what I mean? She doesn't.
Yeah. Well, she was turned down by Kyle. Like, Kyle turned her down.
When was that?
I don't remember the season, but like they were together, and then wasn't the following year. Like Kara kind of was going after him, but then he kind of shunned her, and Kyle got with some other girl that was there.
I don't remember. I don't even. What I remember, the last significant interaction I remember, the whole time Kara's like, you're a fucking asshole, and Maria's like, okay, yeah, he is, whatever. But then that one night where he's like, maybe I do like you, and then she sat on his lap, and Maria's like, what the fuck are you doing? You just have been saying for this whole entire time how much of a prick he is, and how like women or little girls are looking up to you to do the right thing. I think it's just Cara Maria was like, you made me look bad because I was full of shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You called my bluff. I actually do want your English cock. You know what I mean?
It does seem that way because she is so obsessed with Kyle. Like, totally. For sure. Yeah,
it's
and
obvious.
Even Polly is obsessed with Kyle, which blows my mind. That's like, Polly is so whipped by Kara. Like, he does her bidding, and I can see why she likes him because he just does whatever she says. And everyone hates Polly and Kara and Kyle in this weird fucking 3-way feud that's been going on for a couple years now. Yeah. Like, we're all so over it.
They should all just fucking get it over with, right?
Right? Just have a British 3-way or something?
Well, yeah, I guess.
I don't know.
European Eiffel Tower. Yeah, right.
There you go. But it's this last episode, but it's, yes, Kyle just got sent home. Polly is now gone. Spoiler alert.
Whoa. So we're talking about Nani, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
but I guess, yeah.
Let's get into the elimination. Okay, so she picks Wes to help her. Georgia picks Turbo. Apparently, Turbo tied someone down in a plane or something like that.
Yeah. Right? Over in the Middle East. Apparently, this happened like once in America and we all freaked out about it. Apparently, this happens in the Middle East all the time. And, someone was unruly and they were, trying to break into the drink cart or something or the cockpit, who knows? And he, duct taped the guy or, taped the guy down to his seat so he couldn't get out. So he's like, I have experience. And they, showed some clip to some article that I can't read because I don't speak whatever language it's in. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. So, but it comes down to this. Turbo's able to tie up Nani so much. He's
super tight.
Super tight. She tried to move though, I remember, and he pressed her arm.
Held her down.
Her down.
Yes.
And she was like, what the fuck, Turbo? But you're not supposed to move. That's why Wes was freaking out about Georgia.
Yeah.
Georgia was flailing arms.
And they kind of portrayed this thing where it was Georgia is singing and yelling and annoying Wes, and that's why he was flustered. Well, the fact is she was singing and yelling as she's moving her elbows, moving her shoulders and arms and wrists, so that way it was harder to duct tape her.
Yeah.
Because it was constantly loose. You could never really get her tied down well because she kept moving. And they showed a small little clip of Wes being she's moving. Yeah. I guarantee you they edited way more of that complaining out because
for sure.
And we can tell immediately because just boom, Georgia rips out of it, she's the Hulk. But we know she's not. And then Nani couldn't get out at all. Yeah, it just seemed that Georgia, I don't know, she either thought of it herself or somebody gave her a hint, just keep moving around so that way they can't Wes can't take it that well.
Yeah. So
So Nani goes home, and it was disappointing. I it was my least favorite elimination this year, I think, by
it was
far.
terrible. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was-
because it didn't seem like a legit good competition between two people. Like at least just give them a puzzle or something to work on. Give them a wall to climb and with a bell on the top.
Yeah.
Like that's what I want to see in elimination. Just have a puzzle and then you're gonna climb the wall, ring the bell. Like that's what I want to freaking see.
All right.
Not like, oh, you're taped to a chair. That was lame.
Yeah, it was super lame. Well, Nani's gone, and again, she still hasn't won me over. She's still the same old Nani, the same lame. Like, don't talk about it. Just help me, Wes.
Okay, that was kind of annoying, but I understand where she was coming from because Wes has a big ego. And she has always been annoyed by his ego. And when they were partners on Rivals
bananas. Makes sense.
I
gotcha. All right, next we have Kyle. And Kyle, all I have written down is this. He's defeated by Theo.
Yep.
And he's beaten up in the Reckoning one, where they're dragging the garbage. He drops something on his foot. He fucks up his knee.
Yeah, he hurt his knee and his foot. It seemed like he broke his foot.
Yeah.
His
toe was broke. Right.
Yeah, and they showed it, and it was like, oh yeah, that's broken. Like, I work in a hospital, and I've seen broken bones, and when you have a broken foot or toe, it's very obvious just by looking at it. Like, you can tell just by the swelling and the color of it. Like, you can almost always tell. And looking at it, it's like, yeah, that's messed up, dude. And for him to go out there and go into elimination, and good for Kyle. Like, I don't love Kyle. Like, he's annoying at times, but I feel like Kyle resolved his portion of the Paulie Cara thing, and he's moved on from it. But Paulie and Cara keep dragging him back into it, and that's constantly a storyline for Kyle. But Kyle doesn't want that to be a storyline. He kind of just wants to move on. So, like, anytime they're in the tribunal and Kyle's down there, he's like, oh, come on, you guys love me. And he just tries to make a joke and, like, move on from it. But, like, he's just trying to distance himself from his past and move on in life. But Paulie and Cara keep trying to drag him back into it. And it's unfortunate for Kyle because I think Kyle is... he's not, like, a great guy. I'm sure he's kind of a douchebag. But as a competitor, he shouldn't be defined by that one relationship he had.
Right. And, well, I'll say that it actually kind of helped. I thought Kyle was just a douche, kind of fake. As fake as his hair. He's got those hair plugs and shit like that.
I didn't see those. The bandana was in the way.
Apparently, bandana. But I feel like after a while, I was like, no, Kyle comes out looking better for this. Like, he's got some characterization now. He's got, like, And then the other thing is, though, when him and Polly are talking, like, in the tribunal or whatever, they're both just like, come on, let's, you call me out yourself. And Polly's like, are we going to have to fight each other and shit like that? And I do remember when Kyle was voted in, because this was a stupid ass cliffhanger where, like, Wes is like, okay, before I put it in a vote, does anyone want to volunteer? Maybe get some revenge that you've been leading up this entire season? A little bit Family Guy there.
Because he's trying to get Paulie to call out Kyle because Paulie's been saying that he wants to go after him.
Right.
But it's like, how much of this is truly what Paulie feels and how much is kind of just Paulie trying to play to the storyline that the producers want to put in front of him? Because we see this with Paulie multiple times this season where he acts one way in front of Cara, but then we see Paulie alone with Kyle, or we see him alone with Theo or Wes, and he acts like a different person.
Yeah,
and it's not the same person. And you're like, okay, well, which Paulie is the real person? I don't really know.
Yeah. Because
Paulie is kind of trying to serve all these different people, trying to be himself, I think. But when he's around Cara, he's totally doing whatever it takes to make her happy. But then he wants to play a smart game, so when he's around Wes or Kyle, he's not acting the same way he would around Cara.
Yeah, I actually like the back and forth between him and Kyle. I feel like if Cara Maria isn't on next season, that's a joke. She'll always be there.
Yeah.
But if it was just the two of them, I actually think they would get along really well.
Yeah.
I feel like there's enough, they have enough in common or whatever that they're like, they'd be buddies. You know what I
Any
mean?
two guys who find Cara Maria attractive probably have a lot in common, right? I feel like she's an acquired taste, from a guy's perspective.
Yeah. The other thing, though, going back to the cliffhanger where Wes is like, does anybody want a vulture? You know what I mean? I was so mad, though, because I was like, okay, A, this is going to be a cliffhanger, and B, Paulie already tried to volunteer to go against Kyle, and TJ shut that shit down, like in the beginning of the season or whatever. He was just like, no, you can't. You can't.
I don't remember
volunteer.
that.
You don't remember that? I
No.
fucking remember that. And so should have everyone else. Everyone else apparently forgot about it. That was never on the table. Paulie already tried to volunteer, so it was very annoying. It was. Oh my God.
I want to watch that again.
So what I got? Defeated by Theo. Yeah. So this is where he picks Theo, and it was between him or Hunter.
Yeah.
And were
both
we
bad
recording
matchups
when we were talking about that?
I don't think so.
Hunter would have hurt him.
Hunter is as wide. He's a big, thick dude, so he's like as wide as the hall itself.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, Theo's like taller than you by 3 inches, but at least you might be able to knock him down to his knees and then run for the bell that way.
Yeah.
It was Kyle didn't have he didn't have any good choices there.
Overall, it was the better choice. I feel like obviously it's all about getting low, especially when you're hitting. So you can get lower than Theo, but you can't get lower than Hunter.
Yeah. But you know who I think Kyle could have beaten? I think he could have beaten Paulie at this.
Yeah? Why's that? Because he was injured, right?
Well,
broken toe?
No, well, because I think Kyle could have beaten Paulie because Paulie is a little bit shorter than him, but he's not as big and thick as Hunter.
He's got
a
speed
size
advantage.
Wise.
I think Paulie has a speed advantage. I think he's
really
speedy.
But Kyle, he has a long, lanky frame. I think he could have boxed him out a little bit.
Yeah, that's true.
He used leverage. Kyle fights really smart. He used good tactics. I think Kyle could have beaten him. Not for sure. It wouldn't have been a landslide. But I think he would have had a better chance against Paulie than he would have against Hunter or Theo.
Yeah, so Kyle won that first round. I was so stoked for that, but then he lost the subsequent 2 next rounds. And it sucks. Maybe not even necessarily rooting for him, but just rooting against Cara and Paulie's wishes. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah.
I feel like we've talked about Paulie and Cara enough. We don't even need to mention them. So.
Next, we have Maddie.
Maddie. All right, Maddie Lynn.
I have written down betrays Kyle. That's kind of true. She made that deal with Cara, like, you don't vote us in and we won't vote you in, thus So Kyle wanted Maddie to vote in Kyle because Maddie won the Highway to Hell thing, the one with
doing the figure eights
dune
and
buggy
the buggy.
Yeah. And she made the right choice in terms of saving her and stuff, but she was put in a lot because of Cara's hatred for Kyle, and Cara Maria, she's gonna beat your ass in a final, guy or girl. Like, Cara's legit, So I don't know. I kind of felt I felt bad for Kyle because he legit was just like, I have nobody here, I can't do his voice, but but then I do like that line. We're going back to Kyle. He's just like, I have nobody here, but I have to adapt. I have to forgive her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I don't fault Maddie for that because it's a solo game now. She's looking out for herself, and she was put in a spot where it's like, okay, if I can make a new alliance here, because she's like, Wes and D are on my side. If I can get Cara and Paulie, I'm like, this will ensure me to get to the final. And at this point, you can't really quibble with, like, we need to get you at the early part of the game. You need to get rid of the people who can hurt you in a final. You need to get rid of the CT or the bananas. And you do that in the early game. Towards the late game, you kind of just need to protect your spot and make sure you move on to the final. The competition might be tough, but just because you put someone into elimination doesn't mean they're not going to come right back.
Yeah.
So, I do want to talk about some specific storyline that happened there that involved Wes and his angels, D and Maddie. And in that episode, that was a very Wes centric episode. The whole episode basically revolved around Wes.
Wes is running this fucking house.
Yeah, and Dee and Maddie, I think those were the three winners of that dune buggy with the puzzle on it, and they're like, okay, we're gonna bargain our position of power for leverage in the future. So we're gonna get either Georgia, Devon, or Kara to give us something and promise us that they're not going to vote us in, then we'll protect them. Mm-hmm. And Georgia agrees to it. Kara agrees to it. Devon, I don't. She doesn't.
Says no. Right,
she says no. Well, she has a counter offer, and she's like, "Well, I'll protect you, but you have to also protect me as well. You know, like this has to go both ways." And Wes is like, "Well, we'll think about it." So all of this, it comes down to Georgia kind of backs out on it. She's like, I don't want to just be like Wes's puppet. Kara agrees to it because I think basically because Kara's a veteran of the show and she knows that you need to have allies in this game, and if it can save her a spot for another couple episodes, then the final would be right there. So I have no problem with Kara doing that. But I think the thing that is overlooked the most here is how much Wes was manipulating Dee and Maddie. Wes had Dee and Maddie thinking that he was giving them power and this choice to, do this. But ultimately, like, Wes was controlling them, and Wes was telling them, hey, you're going to do this, you're going to do this. And I didn't even realize that Wes was just using them, because not only did Wes get Kara as an ally, but he was forcing Dee and Maddie into it. Well, not really forcing them, but kind of nudging them in that direction.
I do remember him saying Kara is an overrated runner.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's just him trying to protect her.
Yeah. And he's like, Georgia, that's someone we need to be worried about. Which I didn't necessarily agree with. Because even though
Polly did say that she has the stamina to hang with him. Which was true. They did.
Like maybe, but like in a final, it's more than just stamina. Like they're gonna have to do puzzles. I don't trust Georgia in a puzzle, and I don't trust her with any type of endurance that involves strength and like lifting things. And she's a rookie. Georgia's not a threat to me at all. There's no way you can rationally tell me that Georgia is more of a threat than Cara Maria in a final. Like, it's just ludicrous. You can never talk me into that. Cara has a track record. You can look. She's won a couple seasons of it. Georgia is a newbie. Yeah, maybe Georgia's a better runner, but that is the one thing where Cara Maria has 5 other traits that are better than Georgia. That's true. Stronger, more endurance, experience, puzzles. So I did not agree with Wes saving Cara and allowing her to get to a final. At least I guess that was the manipulating point, because Wes was looking out for his own best interest. I think Wes has confidence that he can beat Cara, but Maddie and Dee, they should not feel confident being able to beat Cara. So Wes was manipulating them into thinking that, like, hey, no, get rid of Georgia, but they really should have stuck together and be like, no, we need to get rid of Cara.
And just remember, with the purge that we had, Maddie almost got eliminated.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she could not climb, and then,
to no fault of her own. There's a nasty sea lion out there.
Oh yeah, the sea lion. Yeah.
You know, in the UFC, if there's like an eye poke or a groin strike, the referee calls time. He's like, all right, go to neutral corners. Like, why didn't they call time on it? Get the seal out of there. You know, they got like a surfboard out there. Why didn't they get one of those lifeguards?
Shoot it away. A beach ball. If anything.
Yeah, exactly. Over there, shoo them away. That way, and then continue it from there. Instead, like, Maddie just seemed to be like frozen there, and then I don't know. Yeah. I'm not sure how much of an effect it had on it, because it's hard to tell with the editing.
I think if I was Maddie, I would have been like, Andre. No, that's a reference to a movie about a seal. And
they have movies about seals?
There was one movie.
There was
one movie with Deb from Napoleon Dynamite. She was like the main actress, and she.
Really? She had a starring role? Good for her.
Back in the day, before she put a ponytail on the side of her head. Yeah. Anyways, that's the end of Maddie. She's in the final, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, on to the next person here. Wes.
Wes, awesome.
Yeah, he's the Tywin Lannister of this challenge. He's running the shit.
He's the elder who's seems to be controlling everything, and with Wes, I'm really like blown away because we've seen like veterans come back and do good, but like Wes is coming back and he's doing so well. And Wes even said it in one of these episodes. He's like, everyone I've been against has been sent home, and everyone I've protected has stayed here.
Yeah.
And it's so true.
Yeah. Wes, he's been gone for a while, but he's been staying sharp in the champs versus stars. Like he's been winning missions. He's been undefeated in eliminations in there, and he's gotten to the 2 finals. I mean, this guy, he's coming back in a crazy way. He won episode 11, Highway to Hell. And that's where he got the Wes's Angels.
Oh yeah. Yeah, apparently online it said he beat that puzzle on the back of the Dune buggy in like 21 seconds.
Holy shit!
So it's like insane.
Jeez. Well, good for him. And then he also won the Day of Reckoning, where he was with Devon, who was out to fuck Wes over, and she has asthma, and she kind of sucks overall. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she has the worst endurance, like admittedly from herself.
Yeah.
Devon has the worst endurance of any girl, and Wes still finishes in the top 3. And also Wes, he was paired with Dee, and this is a couple episodes before where it was in the water and they were pulling the puzzle pieces back to the shore, and his partner was Dee, who was the worst swimmer, and he still manages to win that. So like twice we've seen Wes paired with someone who is very poor at what they need to do, and he carries the team to a victory.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. Wes has done phenomenal. And like if you look at other vets who like have been gone for a couple years and then come back, if you look at like Brad and CT, like they had some success, but not the type of success that Wes has had. And some of it for CT you could blame on his partners, Veronica and then Julia. So I can't really hold it against CT,
Yeah.
But he's really done a great job.
Okay, so with all that being said, I am having terrible flashbacks to Battle of the Exes 2, where Wes showed up with Teresa, another ho-hum partner, and he was controlling that entire season. He was doing so well. He was winning missions, making deals, sending people home, or at least he thought, until he got fucked over by production, in a sense. That's when they brought Bananas out of redemption.
Yeah. The
Not
first
even-
ever redemption season.
Not even at the end to go to the final, but like with a couple episodes left.
Yeah, there's like 4 to go.
Actually, I want to say there was one elimination left, and they brought him back. Everyone sided with Bananas. They sent Wes in, and Wes got eliminated. He did not get a second chance to come back.
Yeah, everybody
Unlike
else did.
everyone else. Even his partner Teresa got to come back because Leroy's partner Naya, Hurricane Naya, was a piece of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So everyone got a second chance. And even the elimination he was put against, like it was so obvious. There was no way he could win. It was Hall Brawl against Leroy. There's no fucking way, right?
Yeah.
So to me, I remember watching that and I was just so pissed. I was just like, this isn't fair. And even when Bananas came back, it was the first time ever where the mission, people can attack other people so that they lose. You know what I mean? So that's when they all decided to go against Wes. Nothing else was put that way. Nothing else was ran that way. So I remember I was like, dude, if I were you, Wes, I would never come back. Producers fucked you over. They clearly made a decision to go with Bananas over you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he really was running that entire thing, and then it all ended in a sham. So I remember I was like, dude, if you never come back, I understand. But then he came back with Rivals 3, but he was sort of given, producers fucked him over again by giving him Nani of all people. You know what I mean?
And like on the surface, it doesn't seem that bad, but when you have Sarah the best girl competitor being with Bananas, you're like, well, who is going to be able to beat them? And they legit, it seemed like they won every mission that season. Like there was no chance that anyone from episode 1 to the final were like Bananas and Sarah. Yeah, they're going to win. It was obvious.
Yeah, and again, he's with Nani, and we just mentioned it. How Nani is just kind of like, I don't really like you, Wes. You know what I mean? Like she never really accepted him as a partner. I remember that. I remember she was just like, stop this political bullshit. Let's just win a mission. But they couldn't win a mission because Nani, you're not that good. And then she was just like, try some politics, Wes. Like, fuck you.
Well, because the entire season, Nani was like, "Hey, Wes, you need to play my game. I don't want to do politics. I don't want to do any of that.
He bent.
I don't want to
He
use
really wanted
any
to work
strategic ways.
Yeah,
I don't want to win with strategicness. I just want to win. I just want to play it out and see what happens.
Yeah.
And with the challenge, you need to have a political game.
Yeah.
And she kind of neutralized that political game that Wes had. Yeah.
So with
is that the last time we saw Wes before the season?
Yeah.
Like other than Champs versus Stars and Champs versus Pros, where Wes excelled.
Yep. Yeah. So he's doing awesome, but I'm just so nervous for him. I was like, what if the producers want to fuck you over again, dude? Like even with one episode left, it still could happen. You know what I mean? But I am looking forward to this. I wanted him and Turbo to be in the final to go against each other. I was like, that's going to be awesome. But now we also have Cara Maria. So this is going to be a deadly triple threat match right here.
Yeah.
I don't really see anyone else in the running. Maybe Paulie, but he's gone now, you know? So these three, triple threat match. It's going to be awesome, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be fucking great.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
And there's like 8, it seems like there's going to be 8 people in the final, too.
Oh, yeah, there will be.
Yeah, which is crazy because usually finals, even if it's just like solos, it's maybe 6. Like Free Agents had 6, 3 guys and 3 girls, right?
Yeah, but that was all partners and stuff.
Yeah, but they still, even though it was Free Agents, they partnered everyone up for the final, which was weird to me because I'm like, it's Free Agents, they should be solo.
And it wasn't individual. It was actually one guy will win and one girl will win. So it was kind of a triple threat in that sense as well.
I really hope for this final they don't partner people up. I hope it's just everyone for themselves.
I have a bad feeling they will, though.
Oh, I hope not. They might.
I think they will. Yeah. Anything else for Wes?
No. He's awesome.
Just Godspeed. That's all I gotta say, right?
Yeah.
Good luck, man.
He's like this season. If you look at the most entertaining people, it's Wes and it's Devon, and it's not even close to me. I'm like, this is my 2 favorite people.
Yeah. All right. So next we got Georgia. I have her with Turbo, defeated Nani, and Wes in a sense, and then she was singing and moving. We talked about this.
Yeah.
It wasn't fair. She shouldn't have been able to do that at all. You know?
Yeah.
Not to mention her voice was so terrible. Like it kind of reminded me of because especially in comparison to Wes. Wes speaks very enunciated. You know what I mean? He's very just like. Meanwhile, Georgia's like, hello, governor, and stuff like that. You know, it reminded me of My Fair Lady or The Pygmalion, if you want to get back to the grassroots of it all. Where, like, the one professor's like, why doesn't the British teach the women to speak properly? Well, he didn't say women, but you know what I mean? Meanwhile, she's like, hello! And he takes her under his wing, teaches her how to enunciate, speak properly, blah, blah, blah. That's kind of like this.
I have no idea what you're saying right now. Okay.
But no, I don't have really too much to write. I mean, she's going to go in the final. How'd she do in that purge? She finished it properly.
She annihilated it. She did
12.
great. Yeah. She really did. I think with Georgia, at the beginning of the year, like, she was fine, and I liked her with Hunter. Then the whole Bear thing happened, and she seemed really terrible because, like, Bear was, like, her weakness. Like, when Bear's around, she's not acting rational. It's, like, same for Paulie, when Kara's around. Paulie is not himself when Kara's around, and Georgia was not herself when Bear was around. Once Bear left, though, then Georgia, she seems fine. She's on her own. Like, her personality has grown on me, and I've started to like Georgia. I have no reason to dislike her. She did good in that final Purge challenge.
Yeah.
You know, going over the crates and swinging on the rope and climbing up the nets. She did good at that. I don't know.
Did she fall at all?
No,
No, she made it.
no.
Yeah.
I think she kind of just killed it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. I was going to talk about somebody else, but yeah, Georgia's fine. Georgia to me is like the female version of uh, Theo. You know,
Yeah.
British. Yeah,
Very
I have
broad
no reason to.
strokes.
I have no reason to dislike them. You know, but they're there. They're rookies. They're fine. I don't know. I don't know. There's not a whole lot to them though, because I
Go,
guess we don't have like a long history on them to kind of compare like what they're doing now to what they've done in the past. But you know what? She's made it to like the final 8 this season.
yeah.
You know, she did something like Maddie was not able to complete that. Devon was not able to complete that.
That's true. Yeah.
So I mean, good for Georgia. Like
And Cara didn't even have to participate. So was Georgia the only female to complete it then? Who else went out of the females?
I think
Right?
that's it, right?
Yeah, I think.
There's Cara.
No, we're
Georgia,
forgetting someone, right? Natalie.
Natalie, but Dee was already gone, so Dee didn't do it.
But Ninja fell.
Yeah.
Too. And Georgia.
Ninja Warrior fell.
Yeah.
So Georgia actually did the best out of all the girls.
Yeah.
But that's what I was going to mention. Is like Cara, she automatically made it to the final. She didn't have to do that last challenge. I really would have liked to see Cara do that because we got to see Cara's reaction to Paulie failing at it, but we didn't get to see Cara do it. And you know, like Kara's good at stuff. I think she could have done it, but there are times when Cara underperforms.
She's really bad at swimmer.
Yeah.
I don't even think she can swim. She can't even do the dead
Barely.
man's float. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the one disappointing thing is that Cara automatically made it to the final. And well, the same for Turbo. Like I'm sure Turbo would have done well, but I would have liked to seen it.
Yeah, for sure. Next we have Dee. Oh my gosh, I'm so sad about this. Okay, so we mentioned how she defends Ninja against Turbo, but it's really she's just like, she's my friend, so I'm going to defend her, even though, like really you should mind your own business. I mean, loyalty, but to a fault. I don't know how to describe it. I mean, and all that stuff, it did fuck her over because she got Turbo pissed at her, put her in, and she ends up losing to Devon. I was shocked when that happened. But looking back, I mean, she did start off really hot, just fucking like yanking the rope through the glory hole.
Kind of did a Paulie, gassed himself out.
Yeah.
In the very first parts of it, and then didn't have the endurance to last. I think with Dee, she. I lost my train of thought there.
She did win Highway to Hell just real quick. Like that was when she.
Oh
did the
yeah,
puzzle
with the puzzle,
Los
she
Angeles.
did well there. Oh, what I was gonna say is Dee. Once they split from partners, where Dee was matched with Wes, and once Dee was on her own, she was not as good because it's like she didn't have the partner there to be like, hey, stay out of this argument. Hey, don't get involved in this. I feel like if Wes was her partner, like he would have coached her a little bit more. But since they're all solos, everyone's on their own. And when you kind of get into those, those arguments or those kind of political things that'll affect the votes.
Yeah.
Her and Natalie were not too smart when it came to that. And, you can't start a scene and get involved in something. You really can't because, like, time and time again in the challenge, if you make a scene in the house, the vote always ends up going your way. Because, like, you know what? You're giving everyone a reason, and they don't have to feel guilty about it.
It's true.
To be like, hey, I'm voting for you because of this,
I could hear it now. Wes would have came in there like, hey, don't clap when you're yelling at people. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Like, Dee's a really good competitor. I was surprised that she lost to Devon. And, I mean, I guess it's just props to Devon. Like, good for her. Like, she annihilated her.
Wrong strategy of just, she burnt herself out. Yeah.
Yeah, because towards the end, she could barely pull on that rope.
Do you think she'll return for another season? I guess we haven't been asking that at all about all these new people. You know what I mean?
Dee, I would probably say no. I don't think so. I think with Natalie, I could say yes. Georgia and Maddie, I would say yes. With D, I don't feel like there was enough personality, or I don't know. She's kind of missing the it factor.
Hmm.
Maybe to no fault of her own. Maybe it was just the fact that other people kind of shined a little bit more. I have no problem with D. I think she's a good competitor, and I would have no problem bringing her back.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of that kind of comes down to production and what they're going to make the theme of the next season. You know,
That's true.
yeah, like how
Yeah.
would she fit into it? Because there's a lot of people who end up being one and done. But she did have a very good rookie year,
She did.
so
Very well.
I I could see her coming back, but it's no guarantee.
Okay. Well, next we have Polly.
Polly,
Oh my gosh. Um, he won Day of Reckoning with who did he win that with? Georgia. He called that shit. He's like, I need a girl who can hang with me in terms of stamina.
yeah, oh yeah, bringing all that garbage from the dump back to the dumpster.
Yeah. And then he also won the crash landing thing. He was third overall to finish the puzzle.
Which is a puzzle. So he's got endurance. He's good at puzzles.
And then I already wrote down and already mentioned no volunteering to verse Kyle because that was full of shit anyways. It was never going to happen. But then I also have the friendly rivalry with Kyle. We already mentioned that too. Like where
Yeah.
But finally, the only thing I have written down now is that he was purged.
Yeah.
What a shock, right?
Yeah. It was crazy. And like part of it was a little bit of unluckiness. He was the first guy to go. And anytime you're the first person to go, it always works against you because you weren't able to watch everybody else do it and see how they kind of figured it out and the proper way to do things. So Paulie, he's young, he's full of piss and vinegar, and he's like, I'm going to give it 120%. I'm going to annihilate this. And he runs and he jumps off and he lands in the water on his face.
First, yeah.
And he's like, oh, yeah, landing on your face is not good. And I think that kind of shocked him a little bit. Once he climbs up the first netting, he kind of climbs up on the right side and it kind of rocks to the side, and he loses a little bit there, but then he kind of recovers, climbs up the way, and then you're gonna grab onto that rope swing and swing onto that slanted cargo container that is at like a 30-degree angle, which it was fairly steep.
Yeah.
And Polly said he failed that swing twice and finally got it on the third try. He said he wasn't holding onto the rope high enough to do it. And part of that is going first. If you would have seen someone else do it first, you would have thought of that. You'd be like, oh yeah, I need to hold on higher. But instead you end up, if you hold on too low and it swings, like your thighs are hitting into the side of the container, you're not able to get your body on top of it.
I thought his arm strength was gone by that first time.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. He didn't have the grip, and he kept slipping off. Yeah, he kept slipping off, and it was very confusing.
He eventually got the ring, though, right?
Yeah, on the third try, he eventually gets it after he's basically gassed himself out because he fell off of it twice. Third time, he finally gets it. Yeah.
Jesus.
And then he's trying to climb up it to put the ring on that post. And then he falls off twice again there.
He can't feel his fingers.
Yeah, and by that point, he couldn't. He's just talking about hypothermia. He can't feel his fingers, and it's like in the moment, I'm like, dang, that sucks. But looking at everyone else do it, like nobody else was dealing with hypothermia. Nobody else was having those issues.
Well, no one else had that much time in the water, though. You know what I mean?
That's true, but that's kind of his own doing. Like, even if he didn't hold on to the rope high enough, like I was just saying, because I was wrong when I was saying that, because even if he held on higher, once he let go from the rope and started to swing, he would fall off. It's not like he was hitting the container like Maddie did when Maddie swung and hit the container.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I didn't hang on to it high enough. But you could tell with Paulie when he's climbing up that netting at the end, he's looking at his hands. And he's holding on with like his fingertips, and his fingers are out like claws, holding on to this. And he's looking at it. I mean, you can tell he has like no strength in his arms at all. Mm-hmm. Like his arms are completely detached from. It's like his brain is telling his hands to do something, and they're not doing it. And he's barely holding on, and then he always ends up slipping once he gets near the top. Yeah. I think that was a product of him being exhausted from having to reclimb up again and then again. So by the time he actually got the ring towards the end, he couldn't complete it.
Oh yeah, so many falls, fucking, and it was crazy because he's a super cocky dude and stuff, and it's not like that's a bad thing. Like it could, it really helps you if you have this crazy belief in yourself. You can do
Yeah.
some amazing stuff. But yeah, there were just a couple of mistakes that he made going first, head first. And
someone who's going neck first, falling back.
yeah,
Just falling backwards and like hitting the bottom of the net right where it's close to the water, like landing on the back of his neck. It looked pretty brutal and painful. Like Paulie's been great at like everything this year. He's won like I don't know what his record is in missions, but he's been phenomenal. He's been in the Troika many times. Tribunal.
You're
Yeah,
thinking, what was the Trioca? Vendettas.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But he's been in that top 3 multiple times. Like he's always done really well at everything this year. And it was kind of a shock to me that he did so poorly at this.
Yeah.
And I get the argument, like, yeah, he went first. That's tough. But still, like, he should have been able to complete it. Like, it was a very poor performance.
Yeah, and Carmaria, she feels bad, and he's fucking crying when in the confessional as well. He's crying.
Oh yeah, it was kind of funny.
He's got his little Kleenex and stuff. He's like, I should have did it, brah. I don't know if he said brah, but he was definitely emotional and stuff. But it's like if you hype yourself up so much, where it's like I'm gonna fucking win, bitches and shit. Like I remember that throughout the season. He's like, there's only one winner, this motherfucker right here, and if you fail like that, it's those insane highs will
you're setting up expectations for yourself.
Yeah,
you got to be able to follow through. Yeah. And one of the things that really made it look bad was the guy who went next, which was Wes. And we talked about Wes earlier. We didn't talk about this this challenge, this purge challenge, because Wes is just like, well, I looked at what Paulie did, and I'm not gonna gas myself out. I'm just gonna go nice and slow. I'm going to take my time. And Wes completes it, and he's like, I don't think anyone's going to beat my time. Like, even though he was going slow and steady, he's like, I think nobody's going to be able to beat this. And it seemed like Wes did it the fastest out of all the guys.
They should have told us who won that. It would be nice to know.
Yeah. That was the unfortunate part. It was all about who didn't complete it at the end and who got eliminated. But it was like, what about the person who won? Shouldn't they have some power here? Yeah. Maybe we'll get to that in the next episode.
Power in the final?
Yeah.
I don't like that.
They're going to be able to assign time penalties to certain people.
Oh my god.
There's going to be certain shenanigans.
I hope there's none of that shit.
So, because like Georgia and West probably got first, so Georgia and West will assign time penalties to opponents. So,
but it's individual. I don't think it should go like fastest male, fastest female. I think it should just be fastest individual overall. Yeah. It is individual,
Yeah.
But yeah, Paulie is gone, and it's crazy because, I kept on saying, I was like, you know what? I want to like Paulie, but it's so hard because he's linked with Carmaria. And Carmaria, as much as she's like, oh my God, you're so sexy and stuff, she's always kind of looking over the side. Did Kyle hear that? I hope so. That sort of thing. So it's like, dude, you had to have known in the back of your mind that she wanted Kyle still. You know what I mean?
I'm so over Kara and Paulie and Kyle, like, and it really sucks. So this is like the second to the last episode we get rid of Kyle and Paulie, and it's like, why couldn't this happen in like episode 3? That would have been great. We could have just had a season like bring back CT and Julia, bring back Bananas and Morgan, like bring back other people so we don't have to watch fucking Paulie. And Kara and Kyle.
Neither of them get to the end.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's like if they're gonna go home and they're not gonna make it to the final, I wish it would have just been out way sooner, so we didn't have to sit through episodes of them being annoying.
Yeah.
Because all I'm thinking is anytime they're on screen talking, I'm like, okay, can we just cut to Bear or Wes or Devon or someone who's entertaining? Like that's all I want to hear. Like cut to Turbo. Like come on.
I don't want to say cut to TJ over all that shit, right?
Yeah.
I won't. All right. Next, we have Ninja Natalie D. She won Day of Reckoning with Turbo, which she thought she didn't win. That's when she made a complete ass of herself, throwing pallets and whatnot.
thinking they did terrible, but they actually won.
Yeah.
And the big thing we didn't mention before was the fact that Natalie was complaining to Turbo about how they didn't do well, but it was a guy's elimination day. It legit did not
That's
matter
true. Wow.
if Natalie
Yeah.
did well or not. Like, it wasn't going to matter. She wasn't going to go home. Like, even if you didn't make the top three, guess what? You're safe because it's the guy's elimination day.
Oh my god.
Why are you so upset about
Hold
it?
on though, dude. You don't know
So-
how she self-identifies. Maybe she's like, I am a dude, bro.
Well,
Maybe the D in Ninja is for dick. You don't know.
D and Ninja? Is it
Natalie
her last?
D. Natalie D. I mean.
Oh, I thought D was her own person. D. So I just thought it was Natalie Ninja, but I have no idea.
But yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, she had nothing. Maybe just pure ego again. You know, she's so used to winning and stuff. But I mean, she did. Okay, and then the fact that, and I hated this too. She's like, "Why won't you look me in the eyes?" And she's crying. She's like, "Forgive me" and stuff. And then eventually, her and Dee are just like, "Well, fuck it then. Fuck it." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hate that when girls are just like, "I tried, so whatever. If you want an enemy, that's fine." I fucking hate that shit, dude. And you know
But
what?
it's like, how can you act like such an asshole and then just be like, it's okay if I act like an asshole as long as I apologize a couple hours later, then it's all forgiven. It's like, no, that's not how it works. Like, feelings are not going to change that quickly. Like, things like that take time. And to expect someone to just, like, okay, I'll accept your apology, we'll move on. We all deal with this in our daily lives. If, like, a friend does something really nasty to you and angers you, you don't just forgive them that day. It's usually a week, 2 weeks, a month later. Then you finally like, okay, I'll put it behind me.
Yeah. Overall, she did really good in the Purge because she's the ninja warrior. Like they're always
She fell at first.
That's right, she did.
But she recovered and she finished it.
Yeah, it's true. I think she's physically gifted, but her personality just grates on me.
She's so awkward and weird. Natalie is, she's just a cringe. It just makes me, it's just cringe city when I see her, and she's annoying. I don't know. And it's like, and it was fine when she was with Polly in the beginning because there was 20 other people in the cast, so we didn't see a lot of her.
Yeah.
Now that we're down to like the final 8 and we're seeing a lot more of Natalie, I'm getting a lot more annoyed because she's getting so much screen time. As a competitor, she's fine, but like her personality, she's just weird. I don't like her.
Yeah, go back to NBC.
Like with Natalie, like I much rather, I like Dee's personality more than her. I like Georgia. I like Maddie. I like Nani. Like there's so many other girls that I prefer over
Ninja's
Natalie.
in the final. How do you think she's gonna do?
I think she'll do well. Yeah. I guess I'm curious to see how Ninja versus Cara Maria, that matchup. Who places better out of those two? Because I think that's a very close matchup. And I guess you can throw Maddie in there as well.
How did Ninja do in the puzzles? I don't think she did.
I don't think she did that
it.
great.
I think she finished at least.
She didn't do as good as Cara though.
Yeah. Huh. I don't know.
But like athletic, she's good at climbing and stuff like that. And I like it's kind of her thing. Yeah. I'm curious to see how she does in the final.
Well, enough about her. Second to last person we're gonna talk about, Cara Maria.
All right, finally.
She won Crash Landing. She was the fastest woman, second overall to finish the puzzle and jump off the plane.
Yep.
DB Cooper style, and then she got she got
good callback. Wikipedia.
She's automatically in the final, and you know what? Apparently, it's like I don't know if it's record breaking, but I think this is her 4th final in a row or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's see here. Dirty 30, Vendettas. She won Vendettas. Final Reckoning, and now this. Yeah. Wow. 4 in a row. Nice. She's a fucking killer. And you know what? I kept on saying I want Turbo and West to go against each other. You cannot count out Cara. Cara she's good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, she is. Especially in a final. Like she's not the fastest runner. She's not like a good sprinter, but she's not a quitter. Like she's not gonna like even if she might be slow at something, she's got the muscle and the heart to kind of push through it.
Yeah. And again,
Unless Marie is her partner, then she'll just say, "Fuck it, I'm going to the house and gonna drink a bottle of wine, and I'm
right.
quitting on this final." Because she
That's-
did do that. We can't
forgot
forget
about
that.
Oh my god.
She did totally quit in that final. She's like, "Marie's my partner. I fucking hate this." I was like, "Oh, there's a house here with wine in it."
She
What
does.
the fuck kind of final was that? They had a fucking house with beds and wine in it, and they're
That
like,
was
"Well,
weird.
if you go home, you get all this wine and hang out." Carmen was like, "Oh, this is fucking tempting as shit."
Okay, well, I do have to say though, you can't mention Kara without her fucking obvious annoying love for Kyle. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I feel like you just treated
She's so
you're gonna-
obsessed with
you,
him.
you treated Polly badly. Are they still together? I think they're broken up. No.
They broke up because Polly cheated on her, but then
What?
yeah. Oh, this is all over Twitter, man. Where have you been?
That was not
7
on
months
Twitter.
ago. Yeah, Polly cheated on Kara right
Oh,
after
yeah?
the
Do we
season
know?
with his ex-girlfriend that he had.
The one that he cheated on her, cheated on with Kara.
I believe so.
Kara, you totally
But
deserve that.
guess what?
Oh my god.
All is forgiven because now they're back together, and Kara and Polly are a thing again.
Oh god.
And according to Polly, they're just living life and having fun. Whatever. And living life and having fun kind of sounds like you're cheating. But
Yeah, really.
right?
Oh.
I don't know. I don't like Polly and Kara. I don't really care for them, the personalities that much, and it kind of makes sense that they would like each other because they're I don't know, they're a couple of weirdos.
Yeah. Yeah, Kara in the final again. Whatever. Okay, next. Finally, we have Devon.
Devon, yes, okay.
I
Devon
have
is
that
like the female MVP of this season for me. I'm calling it now. Spoiler alert for the postseason show.
for you. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
for me. Devon is amazing. She is the queen of the challenge. Like, she's a bad motherfucker. I fucking love Devon. She, like, how the hell did she survive with Bear as her partner? Like, Bear was pissing off everyone in the house. And she would manage to,
They won eliminations.
yeah, they would win eliminations. She would even, like, get in and she would be like, hey, I know you guys are voting for Bear. It's not against me. But remember, I'm attached to this. Devon beat Jenna and Gus in an elimination. Devon, it was the pole wrestle against Jenna.
Yeah.
There might have been shady stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
A little
I
bit,
remember that.
some resets
Fuck,
from the refs.
Man, what the
But
fuck?
you know what? Like, Devon is great. Like, even put that aside, like, what she's done in other stuff, if you can throw that away, Devon has been great. She's the most entertaining person. Like, her narrating the episodes, like, Devon and Wes narrating the episodes are amazing. It really makes them fun. She has the most wit and personality, sense of humor. Like, as a female competitor, like, Devon doesn't have endurance, maybe, but everything about her, personality wise and otherwise as a competitor, her drive, because she wants to win, because she's got a daughter and she's trying to win for her. Like, Devon's awesome.
She did win that Day of Reckoning with Wes, the trash thing.
Yep.
When she herself was laughing because she's like, "I'm so terrible," you know what I mean? But she's
Puffing
still
on her inhaler, and
That
she's
was funny.
still, yeah.
I have to say though, okay, we have the surprise win over D.
Yep.
No, but that just makes me really pissed because she gets purged out. But we both said like maybe if you get last place, you're automatically on elimination. There, she has her fighting chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, doing the purge was wrong because just because you get last, you shouldn't go home. They should just be, if you want to make it high stakes, whoever gets last, you're automatically going to the killing floor. And you know what? We're going to put you at a disadvantage. You can't choose the person you're going against. We'll have the top 3 people in the tribunal. They'll choose who you're facing.
Mhm.
Like, just because D got last, like, barely behind Maddie, because they got to, like, the same point.
Devon.
Or, well, Devon versus Maddie in that last elimination. They got to the same point. in the challenge where they couldn't get any further. But it was like Maddie got there first,
Yeah.
so Maddie moves on. But it's like, but they didn't get any further. It was like, just it should have had an elimination. I felt like Devon kind of got wronged a little bit by getting eliminated in this fashion. Same for Paulie. Like put him into elimination. I don't like the purges. Eliminations are the official way to send someone home.
Yeah. But yeah, she's gone, and that's the end of it. I have nothing else to say.
So well, now we look on to the final.
Yeah, we got the.
Did
final.
you see the preview for it?
I only saw one part, and that was Turbo just collapsing on a sand dune. I was like, "What the fuck is happening here?" Like that's nuts. But that's not to say that means Turbo's gonna suck. That might just say that Turbo is gonna again push himself to the brink of death to get that win. You know what I mean? He's like, "Where I come from, if you do not win, you are dead." You know, Putin puts you in grave. You know, shallow grave at that.
Yes, I must survive for Mother Russia.
Yeah. They're like, in shallow grave. I mean, by 5 foot. America gets 6 foot grave. We only get 5. Metric system. I don't know.
But in the final, they show over 50 miles. It says.
Whoa!
It said an over 50-mile challenge or a final.
I always try and avoid previews. Actually.
Yeah.
So wow.
It didn't really show a whole lot. They showed 50 miles. They showed them on bicycles, so it's not all on foot.
They're using desert? Is it all in the desert still?
Yeah, it's all in the desert.
Bikes in the desert? How's that work?
Yeah, the sand. Well, you get those big wheeled bicycles that can go through the sand. So they're on bicycles for portions of it. Like early in the season, we've seen dune buggies and 4-wheelers. There might be other ways to traverse over 50 miles. If they do some water stuff and maybe they're on.
How?
They'll do it right on the shore. We've seen they're right on the shore because they've done stuff in the water.
That's true. We were just talking about the purge. Yeah.
They could have jet skis or something. Where you go through an obstacle course. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
They said 50 miles. Like that's not even possible. Like a marathon is 26 miles. So they're gonna get around that some way. But it does look brutal as hell, and it's out in the sandy desert. It looks like. And we see Turbo falling down in the sand. We see an ambulance coming up, them starting an IV in someone's arm to rehydrate them. You can't tell who. It looked like a guy's arm. I don't know for sure who.
Hunter, if I were to guess.
Okay.
He's got bad endurance.
Probably. And it looks epic. It looks like a final that we want to see. Because the last couple finals have been really crappy. Last year's final, I think, was probably the worst.
Yeah.
Well, the last two, even the one with
Vendettas
when it was
around with armor.
Well, yeah, and then everything like, hey, you get to the final stretch here. We're resetting all of your times. So Zach, even though you had a lead, sorry, it's all even. You're just doing a puzzle with Cara Maria for the win.
That's right.
And it's like, wait, well, he was winning before, but now we're just throwing that time away.
Yeah,
I don't like those. I hope they don't do that again. I'm so hopeful that they do something good for this final.
We've been saying how it's just gone back to its shittier ways. Now the producers have just really how could they think that though? How could they? I guess they didn't know that people would respond to the season as well as they did. They didn't know that ratings would be up again. They didn't know people would be tuning in and shit like that. I guess they were just like, we're just gonna. I don't get the reasonings at all. Okay, let me ask you this though. It's gonna be a desert final. Last time we had a desert final, remember what that was?
Cutthroat?
Battle of the Seasons.
Battle of the Seasons. Yeah, that's right.
2012, not the first one.
Yeah. Yep.
That one was kind of mediocre, even though it was put in a great landscape. Maybe it'll be better. I also have another question for you. Is this going to be a 2-day challenge with 50 miles?
I don't know. I have no idea. Is it gonna go over one episode or 2 episodes?
Yeah,
is
yeah,
it
I
gonna
was
be
gonna
one
ask
day
you
or
that.
2 days?
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I haven't looked at it. I'm sure you can look online and find the spoilers for it. Like I'm okay if it goes over 2 episodes. That'd be awesome. That means it's super epic and long.
I have another question for you. Is it fair? Is it just absolutely cruel to put a ginger in the middle of the goddamn Sahara Desert? You know what I mean? Like he's gonna fry. He's gonna fry.
Oh
Do you
my
remember?
gosh.
Do you remember Rivals 2 final where like they were in Thailand and he takes like that what do you call it? Lotion,
The
sunblock,
sunscreen?
sunscreen, and puts it all over his nose because
Yeah.
he's like burning alive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's not fair. That's true. I mean, at least put him in Iceland. Crawling
No,
through an igloo.
Fuck that. Put him in Ireland. Put him in Dublin.
Oh, there you go.
Back to his fucking roots. And then you have Conor McGregor just like, talking shit on a dune buggy with TJ. Fuck you fuckers. Fucking wankers. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so we have 8 people in the final. That's crazy. That's a lot of people for a final. We haven't seen that in a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Usually, if it's 8 people, it's teams or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So for solos, it'll probably have different legs to it. I'm sure they'll do a beginning portion, and they're gonna eliminate 4 of the 8, maybe, or
Wow,
3 of the 8.
okay.
I don't know.
Oh.
It seems like something they would do. And then it'll get narrowed down, and then like the last leg will be between 3 people or something. Who knows? That's speculation. I have not seen any spoilers on it.
As well as this whole season has been up until these last 4 episodes, it's just like, yes, we're doing things right again. Whereas like as soon as you cross the finish line, that means you win. Like that's how it used to be done in the day.
Yep.
But now they flipped it. They're like, we're doing our old shenanigans and stuff, or our new shenanigans, I'll say. So who knows? I'm very weary going into this. You know what I mean? Like I got the people I'm rooting for, but god damn it, who the fuck knows how.
It'll be interesting. It always is.
I don't think you're going to be available to record, will you?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
All
right. Well, you're here first. All right. Well, that's the end. Like, subscribe, comment. This is Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud
And Famous Dave.